Are you lonely? Are you a loser? Well, come on down to the Slinging Show.
Myself, Ethan, and my co-host Colton got you covered with sports news and events,
As well as the opposite sex. Find us on Twitter and Instagram at The Slinging Show.
Warning. This podcast contains themes of extreme violence and murder. Subject matter may be offensive to some listeners. Discretion advised.
Welcome to another episode of Evil Transgression, your homicide headquarters here in podcasting. I'm Josh, and with me as always, Dustin and Rex.
I'm back.
Hey, what's up? And I'm glad to see you here for once.
Thanks.
That was like the longest delay in response
It
ever.
was. You didn't know what to do.
Like we all stopped and looked at you like, what's going on?
I was waiting for Rex to say it, and then I'm like, it's me.
Yes. Yeah. Got a little confused.
I did.
Well, welcome back to the chaos, Dustin.
Mm-hmm.
We're glad that you could join us today.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
But
Heard you went to the casino last night.
Yeah, I did.
oh yeah, how much did you lose?
Didn't work out too well.
I'm not gonna say.
He's not going to say because he owes somebody money. Somebody that listens, he owes money to.
Not gonna say. A bunch.
I already know going into a casino because my luck is probably some of the worst luck on the planet.
Me too.
I already know going into a casino, I'm just going to give them money.
Mm-hmm.
I never go into it thinking, oh, I'm gonna win all this money. I always go into it knowing, I'm probably not coming out with this.
Yeah.
So
I can't do it. I'm too cheap
And you-
to
you
just
live
give
right
away
by
money.
one.
What's that?
you live right by one.
I know.
Yeah. Right down the
Yeah,
street.
I refuse to go.
We were always like, you got to go all the way to Vegas to enjoy a casino. Now we got them. We're like, we're not going to that.
Right.
Hey, we get sports betting in January.
Do we?
Finally.
I'm absolutely terrible at it. Even though I can have sure bets. I'm pretty sure I've told you guys the story where I was in Vegas and had the 3-team parlay,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a for sure thing. I was like, I know this is going to happen. It was when the Bengals were terrible, and the last game on my 3-team parlay, so I won my first 2 games, and the last game was the Colts with Peyton Manning against like the terrible Carson Palmer Bengals. And it was like a 3-point spread. I was like, dude, that's cake.
Yeah.
I'm getting ready to win me some money. And Peyton Manning took a knee on the 1-yard line at the end of the game, and they won by like 2 points. Yeah. Yeah. So ever since then, my luck has been crap.
Well, I've never done sports gambling, so
It's fun. Don't get me wrong. It's fun. It's fun because it's kind of like fantasy football where you get invested in every game.
Oh,
It's not
yeah.
just like, I'm only going to watch my team. Like you watch games that you normally wouldn't watch just because you have something invested in
Right.
it. But it never works out.
pretty sure the first game you can bet on here is the Bengals game.
Wow.
All right.
You should do it.
Not doing
I
it.
think they play the Bills.
I'm betting on the Bills.
Good choice.
So today we're going to do something a little different. We've been doing evil facts for a while, but
Yes.
since our show is mostly comedy, even when we don't want it to be, it's funny. So why not do a few criminals that have hilarious names?
Ooh, this will be fun.
So we'll have to come up with a name for this segment.
Yeah.
You know, we'll still do our evil facts, but I just want to add a couple different couple different elements. So we're not always doing the evil facts. The evil facts are fun, but they're hard to come by.
So you can't think of a good name yet to call this?
No. So that's where we should call on the evil mob to give us a name for this segment.
Perfect.
So basically how it's going to work is I'm going to give you these people's names, and you can guess what their crimes have been. So let's start with a tough one. This is going to be a tough one. This guy's name is Joseph Moron. Moron.
Huh.
Actual name. What do you think Joseph Moron was arrested for?
Robbed a bank.
Murder.
Those were both very, very violent crimes. Joseph Moron, who is from Colorado, was charged with domestic abuse and was finally arrested in 2001.
We were both wrong.
Yeah, big time.
So, but that was probably the toughest one. So let's move on to another gentleman by the name of Mr. Love. His name is Mr. Love.
Not McLovin?
Just Mr. Love.
Mr. Love.
His first name is Mr. Mister.
Oh my God.
Mr. Love. Now this is probably a crime that you could probably think of. If a guy had a name like Mr. Love, what would he be?
He was definitely
like a sexual predator or something.
He was absolutely a sex offender. And he was charged with failing to report being a sex offender. So
I was going to say he was exposing himself.
That would have been good too.
Mr. Love. All right, we have a young man here by the name of Bud Weiser.
Shut up.
His name is Bud Weiser.
So he got a DUI.
You're saying DUI?
Yep.
It's close. That's close.
God.
Bud Weiser.
I don't know. You said it's close.
It is close.
Drugs.
He was arrested for trespassing and resisting arrest when he was found sneaking into a Budweiser brewery. Underage too. So Budweiser was arrested for trying to sneak into Budweiser. Patrick Molesti.
What?
Shut up. Yes. Patrick Molesti. Molesti. Patrick Molesti.
He's a Chester.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. He was charged with crimes involving buying children on the internet.
What?
What?
Yes.
Pizzagate?
That's a thing?
Patrick Molesti. That's living up to the name, folks.
Crazy.
Daniel Nudie. Noody. Daniel Nudie.
Exposed himself in public.
Exposing, definitely.
Definitely exposing. He was a school bus driver who exposed himself on the bus.
What?
Luckily, there was only one person on the bus at the time, but it was on school property, and he was charged with public lewdness.
Wow.
Daniel Nudie. I'll give you one more, and this is, if you can't guess this one, then you should probably leave, because you can't think. And it's probably the funniest one. Her name is Crystal Metheny.
I already know.
Might be Matheny, but
I'm pretty sure it's Matheny.
but it looks like Metheny. Crystal Metheny.
Having some meth on her.
Crystal Metheny. She was arrested for numerous drug possession charges.
I can see that.
So that's your hilarious criminal names for today.
It's good stuff.
So we need a name for this segment, please. Evil Mob, give us the best one. We'll do something for the best one.
Yep.
If you can name this segment, we'll send you something.
Sweet.
Has to be good though.
It has to be great.
So great.
We want a good name for this thing. So let's go ahead and jump into our story today.
Let's do it.
Good old Robert Rhoades. Bobby Rhoades. And the photos of this guy are hilarious.
Like Popeye.
Yeah. His mugshot is Popeye.
Oh, wow.
But he's got another interesting picture as well. He likes his fancy attire, that's for sure. I don't know if you call it fancy attire, but...
Can't wait to see that.
So buckle up, Evil Mob, as we discuss Robert Rhoades. Robert Benjamin Rhoades was born November 22nd, 1945, in Council Bluffs, Iowa. Robert was primarily raised by his mother because his father was in the army and was stationed in West Germany.
So they didn't move with him?
Yeah, that's one of the first of many weird things you're gonna hear in this story, is that his family was like, we ain't going to West Germany. Then again, it is, I mean, the probably the height of World War II.
Oh, yeah.
You know, figure
But you didn't travel with your family?
That's scary over there, bro.
So scary.
True.
I mean, I don't want to be in the middle of a war zone.
Nope.
I was born in West Germany.
Was it West Germany?
I don't know.
But it sounded like you just wanted to have like relevance to this story.
Yeah, I don't though.
Born in West Germany with a Polish name. Jeez. All kinds of messed up.
I'm a Pole.
Hey, Polak.
Polak.
When Robert's father finally retired from the military, he moved back with his family and became a firefighter. Robert lived a relatively normal life. He was treated well by his parents and was loved. He was a standout football player at his high school and participated in many different sports. The only real issue Robert seemed to display was a little bit of social anxiety. In 1961, a 16-year-old Robert was arrested for tampering with a vehicle and fighting in public. It's the 60s, man. Everyone fought in public.
True.
The movies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In the movies?
Yep.
Everybody puts their dukes up. With their sleeves rolled up.
With their cigarettes in the sleeve.
Grease.
It's like the height of West Side Story. After a kind of normal upbringing, things would start to go very differently for Robert. He graduated from Thomas Jefferson High School in 1964 and joined the Marine Corps. That same year, Robert's father was arrested for molesting a 12-year-old.
Ooh.
Bobby's dad is what we like to call a real piece of work, folks.
Hey, he'll get his, though.
While he was awaiting trial, he committed suicide.
What?
Told you he would get his.
Well, he got it on his own accord.
Right.
Yeah.
But back then, they was like, we don't care. We don't care if you off yourself in our possession. Nowadays, they're like, we'll put them in like suicide watch.
Oh, yeah.
Back then, they was like, here, take these razor blades and this rope.
And a gun. Have fun.
It's a gun with one bullet. Have fun, buddy. We're going to take a lunch break. We'll be back in 3 hours.
Right.
In 1968, Robert was dishonorably discharged from the Marine Corps for his involvement in a robbery.
Oh, Robert doing robberies.
They don't call him Robbie for nothing.
He could be part of your segment at the beginning. Robbie Banks.
Robbie Banks. Robbie Banks would be a great name for a bank robber.
Wouldn't it?
Yeah. After that, Robert decided to attend college, but that wasn't for him either, so he dropped out. Now I can't get Robbie Banks out of my head. Robert would try his hand at a lot of different jobs throughout the 70s and 80s. He even tried to become a police officer, but they wouldn't hire him because of his dishonorable discharge from the Marines.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
That's back when they actually took that serious.
Yeah, they're like,
Now, when you get dishonorable discharge, they don't even look at it.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, oh,
Yeah.
you can run away now from them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I had a buddy that was it was the guard, but he just stopped showing up. He was like, I don't want to do this no more. Just
What?
stop showing up.
And didn't get in
Really?
trouble?
Yeah, he didn't get no trouble.
What?
And
just went AWOL, huh?
let me rephrase that. He was a buddy. He's not anymore.
Mm.
He was like, you're an un-American. I'm not talking to you. You're a deserter. I mean, but so they discharged him, or they wouldn't hire him because of the dishonorable discharge. They don't mention the fact of why he was dishonorably discharged. Like, oh, well, you were a robber. And you also have been in trouble with the law before.
Mm-hmm.
But because you didn't make it out of the Marines, you're not going to be a cop. So because he couldn't become a police officer, he became a truck driver. Semi-truck driver.
Wow.
Long haul.
Old long-haul truck driver.
Yeehaw.
Old 18-wheeler.
Ooh.
And during the late 80s, Robert became obsessed with something called BDSM.
Dustin knows about that.
And he began
I love it.
physically and sexually abusing his own wife.
Ooh. It's not good.
The old BDSM. Strap me up in some leather.
And some nipple clamps.
Oh.
So that's not a good thing when you become obsessed with BDSM and start abusing your wife with it.
Yeah.
Is it bad I keep moving my head left and right and I just picture you both in those leather chains outfits?
Like his wife walks in the door after a long, hard day of doing wife things, and she walks in the door and he's standing in the living room in leather pants with
Assless chaps.
yeah, and he's got like one of those ball gags in his mouth. Like,
And he's
happy to see you, baby. I'm gonna see you, baby.
fucking
That's terrible, though.
Yeah.
BDSM Popeye. Imagine that staring at your face on top of you. Ugh.
I am's what I am. Patricia Walsh and her husband Douglas Ziskowski were hitchhiking when a truck driver offered them a ride.
Wonder who the truck driver was.
None other than Robert Rhoades.
Oh, Bobby.
Almost immediately, Robert killed Douglas and dumped his body in Sutton County, Texas. Over the following week, Robert would torture and rape Patricia before killing her and dumping her body in Millard County, Utah. That's a good distance away from Sutton County, Texas. So he was just rolling along with some lady tied up in his truck.
Terrible.
Weeks.
Almost a month later, 18-year-old Shayna Holtz was abducted by Robert. Luckily, she was able to escape, but she declined to press charges against him
What?
because she said no one would believe her and it would just be her word against his.
What? I don't get that.
I mean, you could have at least like got the spotlight on this
Right,
guy.
yeah, something.
She did give some insight to the inside of his truck, though. She said he converted his sleeper cab into a torture chamber.
Ooh.
That's scary if you actually sit back and think about it. Like, these cops don't, check out these sleeper cabs of these trucks. Imagine getting stuck in the back of that shit.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? There's probably some out there that are like that still.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
Just driving around our freeways and we're
Probably.
like, this truck driver drives like crap. And it's because he's got some lady tied up in the back of it or something. Just a few days later, Robert picked up 14-year-old Regina Walters and her boyfriend, Ricky Jones. But as he had done before, he killed Ricky right away, but his body wasn't found until March of 1991. What's even crazier is the fact that his body wasn't identified until many years later in 2008.
Dang.
It's a long time.
Yeah.
Over the next several weeks, Robert raped and tortured Regina before eventually killing her.
You know what's crazy? you can actually, there's pictures of her that he took online.
Really?
Yeah, like he took pictures of her.
In the back of his truck.
Like he pulled off to like an abandoned house and got her
Oh,
out
I've seen those.
and
yeah.
took her picture.
Yeah.
And she's like standing there in like a dress and he cuts her hair off.
What?
Yeah.
And she's like, you can tell she's terrified just by the look on her face.
Oh, I mean,
Terrible.
She's 14 years old.
Right.
yeah, and she's been raped and tortured for weeks.
Right.
Mm.
And now she's got some creep pulled over on the side of the road doing a photo shoot of her.
Ah,
Awful.
that's bad.
On April 1st, 1990, Arizona State Trooper Mike Miller noticed a semi-truck on the side of I-10 with its hazards on. When he approached the semi, he found a nude woman handcuffed and screaming.
Mm.
Robert was also found in the truck. He was arrested and charged with aggravated assault, sexual assault, and unlawful imprisonment. But Detective Rick Bernhardt noticed a lot of similarities with the case, and a search warrant was done on Robert's home. Inside, they found pictures of 14-year-old Regina Walters and also of Patricia Walsh. In 1994, Robert Rhoades was found guilty for the first-degree murder of Regina Walters and sentenced to life in prison. He was extradited to Utah, but the families didn't want to testify, so they asked for the charges to be dropped.
What?
I didn't know you could do that.
I didn't either. Especially when you're caught in the act by law enforcement, I don't know how you can drop charges.
I mean, maybe because they knew he was doing life without parole in Illinois, but Utah has the death penalty. They could have used that.
Yeah. Mm.
Robert was then extradited to Texas, but in exchange for dropping the death penalty, he pled guilty to the murders of Ricky Jones and Regina Walters and got a second life sentence. That's strange for Texas. But
I know.
Then again, they're like,
it is.
I'll plead guilty if you drop the death penalty.
But it's Texas in the 90s. Like, they were even worse then
Yeah.
Yeah.
than what they are now, so I'd have been like, nah, we'll just go ahead and try.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I agree.
I'm like, we'll take our chances.
You're already doing life somewhere else.
Yeah. We'll take our chances and try and put you in the chair. How about that?
Right.
Because everything's bigger in Texas.
That's
It
right.
is. It is.
Robert is 76 years old today and is housed at the Maximum Security Men's Correctional Center in Chester, Illinois. If you get a chance, go check this dude out. He has a crazy eye and wears some pretty sweet leather outfits. Some very erotic outfits.
Tell me, dude, I mean, just imagine it. Just picture this in your head. You walk in from work,
Mm-hmm.
and you got Bobby on the couch with the leathers on, looking like Popeye. Just picture it.
Legs open too.
Yeah. You just see like hairy taint. And it's like, God, dude. Like, could you just imagine that eye on top of you breathing. Just imagine it. Just, God, it just seems awful.
So, but he had a nickname. Do you want to tell him what the nickname was?
What?
What was this killer nickname?
Oh, the truck stop killer.
Mm.
Bobby Rhoades, the truck stop killer.
Wow.
Bobby Rhoades, the
American dream. Dusty Rhoades, baby.
Bobby Popeye Rhoades.
Sexual Popeye. Sexual Popeye. I am's what I am, baby. Because I eats my spinach.
Oh, that made me laugh.
Yes.
Good.
So what do you got for me, Rex?
All right. Go to our Facebook page, give us a like. Any comments, questions, or ideas, you can email us at eviltransgression@gmail.com. Dustin.
Go to eviltransgression.com and check out all of our links,
Yes.
our merch. Leave us some comments. Also, if you're on Twitter, I want you to do me a favor. I have a nude page. No, I'm just kidding. Go to Sword and Scale and tell.
Careful.
No.
Be careful.
No,
Oh,
listen. So Mike Boudet is doing a thing where he, if you like, he'll pick like independent creators like us.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to do a podcast with you. He wants to like team up.
Wow.
So I put us in there. So you guys should go over to Sword and Scale. Tell him, hey, you should team up with Evil Transgression, and we can do an episode with him.
But yeah, be gentle with Mike.
No, Mike's the shit. We like him.
Yeah, we like Mike, but let's be honest. One wrong thing to Mike is
So
he has
go
a
over
reputation.
there and tweet at him and tell us to pick us to be part of the independent creator. So
He does have a very good podcast.
he does. He's great.
Very good. That would be cool.
Yeah, I know. So hurry up and go over there and do it right now. Just tweet at him. Hey, pick Evil Transgression to be part of your independent creator thing to do a podcast with.
That'd be sweet.
Yeah.
That would be real cool.
I know, because we would send you to do it.
Oh man, let's not get carried away. I'd show up and he cuts me out for something. All right. So yeah, get you some merch. Leave us some reviews. Tell Mike today you love us.
Yes.
And until next time.
See ya.
See ya.
Peace.